Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to wait just a moment and we'll have Dave join us. And here he is. Hopefully you can hear me. Dave, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I cannot hear you.
Second.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
There we
you
go.
Hear me?
Yep, all good.
Awesome. Fantastic.
We had a slight delay then. I was almost panicked for a second. There was a couple of people waiting, but we're all good. We're all good.
Awesome. So I want to wish everyone a wonderful good evening, good afternoon. My name is Barry Asman, and I am coming to you from Timonium, Maryland. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening / afternoon. Dave Steele, the blind poet, and it looks like we have Ben Fox, Mr. B. Fox.
I'm here. I'm here.
Us. Look at that, coming to us from New York City this afternoon.
Yeah, I can't hear very well because I'm coming to you live from B&H Photography, where we have picked up our new studio gear. I'm super excited to tell you. We'll be having this live coming real soon to a studio near you, Barry.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Also seeing the logo on B's microphone there.
Yes.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me through the mic? I'm hoping it's going through my mic to Zoom. Is it clear quality?
That is correct. We hear you. We hear you loud and
slightly
clear.
muffled, but I think that's just down to the face mask.
People out here at B&H, they're loving the crew. We got Sedona Dave, but I'll tell you what, Dave Steele, quite frankly, we're ready for you, brother. We're ready for you. We're in the world's largest camera store. If you order a camera and it shows up to you at your house, but you can't go to the store to buy it, it's because they got them here in New York City, and you got to come here to buy them. I'm freaking loving it, you guys. Seriously.
So, so B is on a road trip. B's on a road trip to New York.
B's like our roving reporter,
I got to put the phone in my ear, though.
I love it. I love it. So, how are you this afternoon, evening, Dave?
I'm good this evening. It's Wednesday. It's our favorite time of the week. It's been a tough week, which we'll kind of get to on the call. I want to kind of see who's out there. I've got some poetry to start, and then we've got a special guest coming on. I just want to make sure that he's sat.
I believe he is here. I believe the special guest is here.
Good. So
he's actually here with video already.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, tough. It's been a tough week. As you know, those people that kind of follow me, we're all kind of feeling it a bit at the moment with lockdown and stuff and the pandemic. Things are kind of here in the UK picking up again. We've had this new 3-tier system been put into place, and certain areas have been put into stricter restrictions. And my family and I have been isolating now. My wife's been isolating for 2 weeks because someone at her school where she works tested positive. So the whole of their year group had to isolate. So we've all been kind of staying in a lot, and it's tough on the mental health. I've had some bad eye days, but I think this group and everything that I try and write reminds me in times like these that these things will pass. These calls are all very important because it's all about us talking and communicating and sharing what's going on in each other's lives, which I think in this day, in days like these, is more important than ever. I'm grateful and blessed that we have this kind of outlet, and it's great to see more new people on the call tonight, and we can kind of introduce them to what we do, and hopefully they'll come back and stay with us for the weeks to come and all the exciting things we've got to come and special guests.
Absolutely. So the main thing is we got the audio set up from the start, and everything is coming in nice and clear. I want to go through a couple housekeeping things. So there are a couple ways that you can connect with us and interact with us, and we highly encourage you to participate. It's a great, comfortable, and safe environment, and we do this on a weekly basis, and everyone really enjoys this platform, like Dave was saying, where we can all get together here, hear some incredible poetry. We have a special guest this week as well, and we're all about low vision and blindness. So if you want to connect, if you want to join the party, as they say, you can raise your hand. You can click on the button that says raise your hand, or maybe it says raise my hand. In any event, you're going to click on that button. When you click on that button, and I already see some hands up already, that's going to notify us that you would like to join the conversation, and I will do my best to bring you into the conversation as swiftly as possible. If you are waiting, I apologize, but we will do our best to get through and bring as many people on as possible. And, you know, wait for that right break at that right moment to bring individuals on. We have a lot of people on tonight, so I want to, you know, thank everyone here for joining us. If you want to share a comment, you can send it through the Q&A. You can send it through the chat, and we monitor all three avenues. And again, we will do our best to relay any information that you share. And if we do bring you into the mix as far as with video or audio, I encourage you to have your audio and video on. But again, if you're feeling shy, no problem. Just leave your audio on, and we'll be happy with that. So, Dave, let's kick things off with some poetry.
Absolutely.
Because what's an afternoon evening without poetry, right?
Absolutely. We've got, as I said, we've got a lot of new people on the call tonight, so I really wanted to pick something out that would give everyone a kind of feel for what this environment is all about and what I'm all about with my poetry. So I've never read this one before, so bear with us, and we'll always do that thing at the end of each poem. We'll break down, and you always take notes, and people can talk about what they took from it. It goes like this. If you are searching for someone who understands how your eyes see, don't worry, look no further, because there's others here like me. I know just how you feel on the days when you feel down. This poetry that lives in me will ease away that frown. My rhyming explanations, this low vision that we share, reminding you you're not alone. There's always someone there. I know that you feel self-conscious when you're trying to use your cane, avoiding making eye contact and reasons to explain. I'm with you when you're scanning for that thing that you've misplaced, your heart full of frustration and your doubts of self-worth based. But all of these things normal. There's no need to feel a freak. The thoughts that isolate you, together we will speak. So call me if you need me. I mean every word I rhyme. I know my life is busy, but for you, I'll make the time. Just trust in this blind poet. I will show you I'm a friend that understands these things, and this you will always, you always can depend.
So 3 things that stand out to me from that beautiful masterpiece, and everything that you write is truly a masterpiece, because again, time and time again, I don't know how you do it, Dave. I know the words just flow, but you know, it's just really incredible. Sometimes I could just bang my head to write a sentence, you know, for whether it's content, digital content, whatever it may be, and you just have this beautiful gift of being able to express yourself. So I really want to point that out. So you mentioned 3 things as far as always being there, never being alone, and you know, being able to, as an individual, individuals can, you know, count on you from around the world. And I think that's something that you really live by, and you share with the sight loss community by always putting yourself out there, making yourself available for whoever's reaching out to you, whether they're having a great day, a difficult day, or something in between. You are always there. And I know that from that piece of poetry, when you write that, you mean every single word. So
well, there's people on this community call that, you know, can testament to that, you know, personally as well, and you know, the people that I speak to. I always say to everyone that I speak to, and it's in that poem, that I don't just write the words, I mean every single one. And that is something that I base these calls on, and this is what this is all about. This environment, it's about talking about things, positive and negative, that we all live with on a daily basis, and sharing that, and through sharing that, there's great strength in being able to talk about it, and we can be there for each other.
Awesome.
So that is,
yeah.
Go on. Sorry, go on.
I just want to some comments here that are already coming through. Lisa, I do see your message, so I'm not sure as far as anything being disabled. All the comments, Q&A are active, so sorry they're having a little difficulty, but I do see, or I did see your text, so you are all good. Philip, it's good to have you here from the West Coast up in the, I believe in the San Francisco Bay Area. Kathy, welcome for joining us this first time. Really exciting. And of course, a big shout out to Doreen up in Providence, Rhode Island. So an incredible group here tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining us. And yeah, it's, you know, I can't believe it's Wednesday again. So,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to be back here in the studio because
Absolutely.
it's just not the same.
No, I know. It's good to be. I can't wait till I'm there in the studio with you, and we're doing it together. That's, you know,
I know.
be, something to look forward to. So, listen, tonight I want to try and get as interactive as possible. I know there's going to be lots of people that want to be joining in and speaking. We do have a special guest. I've been meaning to do this for a while. For those of you that have followed me for a while now and know me, you know, here in the UK, I have a close affinity with a charity based in the northwest of the UK called Henshaw's. You maybe heard me speak about them on many occasions. I share posts for events in the past that I've done for them and lots of different things. And I've always wanted to kind of bring them into the fold with this. So I was thinking of a way we could kind of do that and what would be the best time to do that. Now, for those that have been on the calls over the previous weeks, you remember a few weeks ago, Barry did this amazing hour of tech where we went through loads of different, you know, new gadgets that were out there that could really, you know, help us enhance our lives in many, many different ways. And so I wanted to do that with Henshaw's as well. Now, we have a special guest, Mark, who's going to come onto the call. Mark has what I can only describe as a true Mancunian accent, which is, well, he would call himself Salfordian, which is where I'm from originally. But I've done that much traveling that my accent is very much kind of softened down. But for those of you across the Atlantic, you were about to hear what a true Salfordian or Mancunian actually sounds like. So I want to, with no further hesitation, bring Mark onto the call from Henshaw's.
Awesome. Mark, oh, hold on. You were unmuted and I'm bringing you back. Hold on one second. I had unmuted Mark. It looks like, there he is.
There we go. In his lovely Henshaw's t-shirt. I should have worn mine tonight, Mark.
And the chairs on kind of brand as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see that. It matches your shirt quite well.
So, Mark, first of all, I want to just say a massive thank you for you being here tonight and being our guest for this evening. I've been dying to do this for a long time now, and like everything, timing's always perfect. It happens at the right time. Can you just, for Barry's sake and B Fox that's out there and everyone else listening on the other side of the pond, just give yourself a little bit of an introduction and tell us a little bit about what you do and Henshaw's, please.
Okay, well, I'm Mark, and I'm a bit of a geek at Henshaw's. I've been working for Henshaw's for 14 years now, so I've done most of old and new services. A little bit about Henshaw's. So we're a charity, mainly in the north of England. So we have been around for a while, so that's 183 years. So we were founded in 1837, and I've done my own work for you guys. So Michigan was admitted as a 26 US state in 183 years ago. So there's a little bit of history for you. Also, the first electric printing press was patented in the US, this time 183 years ago. And Queen Victoria, we all know her very well. She was the first living monarch to go into Buckingham Palace. So there you go. So it was a long time ago. And back in the day, it was the inmates, that's what they used to call visually impaired people back in the day, inmates, used to reside in the asylum. So things have changed. But the college back then was all about increasing independence, and essentially that's what we do now in lots of different ways. So we have this kind of pathway. We help people from hospitals, we help children, we help older people, and everybody in between in many ways. So that might be technology, which is my forte. It might be enablement, rehabilitation, counselling. We've got fantastic volunteers that support in many, many different types of groups, specialist groups and general groups. So there's nothing we don't know that can help. We're just full of solutions to problems, and that's us in a bit of a. I could talk for an hour, you see, so I'm just being mindful that I don't take it all up. So, what else do you want me to say? Do you want me to talk about gear?
Well, yeah. I mean, we were doing a call. We had a call a few weeks ago, and obviously, I know I spoke about Barry before, and Barry will fill in a little bit more about.
I've heard so much about Henshaw's.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think when Dave was out here, I don't think there was a day that would go by that the word Henshaw's wouldn't come up in conversation.
Oh,
Henshaw's mean a lot to me. It's I remember doing my first Carols by Candlelight concert a few years ago. And for those of you that don't know, every year Henshaw's put on this amazing event. Unfortunately, it's not going to be happening this year, which is really sad.
Is it going to go virtual?
I don't know. I've not heard anything, but yeah, this year it's not happening as far as I know as yet. But every year gone by at Manchester Cathedral, which is just an absolutely beautiful cathedral in the city centre of Manchester, where I live.
Oh, cheers! The question is,
you got tea there.
What's that tea?
Honest.
They put on a concert. Hey, every year they put on a concert at Manchester Cathedral, and they have choirs and Salvation Army band and Christmas carols. They have a visually impaired opera singer. They have, and I come on and read some poetry, and we sing Christmas songs, and everyone lights candles at the end, and it's just an incredible event. But I remember the first time speaking there for Henshaw's a few years ago, and just remembering what it meant to me doing something in my hometown. And that's what Henshaw's are to me. It's home. It's, they really do make a real difference in the community right across the Northwest. So I'm always ready to do anything for Henshaw's at the drop of a hat, as I'm sure Mark will say. But yeah, we did a call, Mark, I was just saying a few weeks ago, where we got some tech out that Barry, uses and has for sale in the low vision shop, and just showing some of the latest gadgets out there that can expand and really, help people when they're out, but also when they're home as well. And I know that is your forte. So, if there's something there that you've got at the moment that you want to share with us, I'd really like to know.
I've got this.
Because, first of all, you do the Knowledge Village as well, because I want to give that a plug.
Yeah.
Because,
I've got to plug that.
Absolutely.
I've definitely got to plug that. Let me just tell you. I'll tell you about the kit, but I'm pretty much interested in telling you how we do it, really. Mm-hmm. So we cover Greater Manchester physically. And in fact, even now, we're still allowed to go into people's homes because we're a charity and we're learning, teaching people. So fortunately, even with this difficult lockdown period, excuse me, we're still going to people's homes, and we've still got some venues that we can work from too. And the way we work really is really holistic. So we have literally we have suitcase of gear. But the gear never comes out. We have conversations, and really, the conversation is about who they are, what they're trying to do, what do they know, what have they got. Talk about money, because that's really important. And then what we then start doing, once we know all that, we start getting the gear out. So, and again, we work on both levels, mainstream technology and obviously specialist technology and everything in between. So, so our gear, and I'll grab some over and I'll bring some over in a minute, is mainstream. So we'll talk about Android and Apple and sometimes Microsoft, but they're not doing as well as they should do for the VI community, in my opinion. So we'll have the mainstream technology, and a lot of people, that's good enough. And then we obviously get into low vision stuff. So RCAM, so I've got...
I'm just curious, Mark, how many...
Yeah.
What's the team like? What is the team that Henshaw is comprised of? How many individuals are out there going out and visiting individuals with sight loss on a daily basis?
So I think we've got something like 450 staff.
450, wow.
Right, But that covers a lot of staff over in the college area. So college is pan disability. So we've got a fantastic college in the northeast of England where people with visual impairment will also be, but there's also dyslexia and it's pure pan disability, very specialist stuff, and it's residential too. Over in our place, so over in Greater Manchester, I think we've got about 50, 60 staff that cover all ranges from hospital support to children's support to adulthood, volunteers. We've got 100 volunteers that help us just in the Northwest. My team's small, but it's perfectly formed. So we do a good job. And we see, I think over COVID, we saw 600 individual people just this last year. So we do well by the amount of people that we can support.
That's a pretty significant number to be able to see 600 people.
And that's physically.
Right.
You know, but they mentioned like the Knowledge Village, and I will talk about the Knowledge Village because I'm proud that what we do in the Knowledge Village. And again, it's right across the board. So there's, you know, it's not just someone like me talking about it. All staff get involved in the Knowledge Village.
Now, if someone wants to get involved with, not involved, but if someone needs services provided by Henshaw's, what is what's the process? Is it going online, filling out a form? Are they being recommended by a doctor? Is it being recommended from, you know, I don't know the terminology in the UK.
So basically, it's everything. So primarily, we've got a service at the second largest hospital in England. So we reside there. So we've got services there, and the team basically support all the technicians and the specialists in the hospital. But then we've got local authorities. So, you know, we've got different sets of teams in different areas that have specialists too, and they refer to us. And then anyone can just get in touch with us via, you know, the normal means really. But we even support people, you know, this Knowledge Village, this YouTube channel, we support people via YouTube. You know, I think it's up for grabs really, how you can help people. You know, we do it on Facebook, because essentially a massive part of our job, not just mine, but everybody's, and we've all got our own kind of speciality, is information, advice and guidance, which essentially is, it's always the same thing. I've got a problem, have you got a solution? And that's how we are. We are holistic. So, you know, we can talk about mainstream technology. We can talk about kind of specialist technology like the Orcam. I love the Orcam.
Yep. Yeah, we love it as well.
You know, it's fantastic. And, you know, we've got magnifiers, so we use good gear. So Optical is kind of our preferred go-to manufacturer for electronica in that state. But we also work with non-tech solutions, again, because the team are specialists generalized, but then they're specialists in their own, you know, so like children and families will know a lot of information that can support adults because it kind of transfers. We also do a program which is called Eccentric Viewing and Steady Eye for the Macular Society. So we help people use what vision they've already got. So I'm an ex-squadder, so I know.
Ex-what?
Oh, squad. Right, yeah. So so I was in the army, right? So eccentric viewing.
Squaddy is in squadron.
Oh, squadron.
Squaddy is in squadron, as in
squadron.
Yeah.
So eccentric viewing is a technique where if you look away from the thing you're trying to see, you can read it better. So in the army, you're taught to do that for kind of night shooting. We teach that to people with a visual impairment. So instead of trying to look at the thing you're trying to read, if you look off and you can use parts of your eye that's not damaged, we can not help everybody, but we can actually teach that technique, and we do that. And then we do with, you know, glass and optics and filters. So we're not like a one-trick pony. we've got a proper breadth of an understanding, and it's really all about solving the problems.
Mark, I have just a quick. Do you spell your with a name with a K or a C?
A K.
Okay, I'm because I had a request because apparently the link that you came in, it's coming up. You're showing your name is Dave Steele. So we've actually had a request to please put your proper name.
Right, that's probably because I shared my link. That's my fault, I'm afraid.
All good. Mark, spell me your last name.
Yeah, I can see that. Mark Belcher, Belcher. It's a French word, actually. It's Belcher, but I just say Belcher. It's easier. My sister says
perfect.
Belcher, though.
Perfect. Okay. No, we had an anonymous request to please adjust it. So whoever requested that, thank you very much.
Yeah, so with the link with Mark and with yourself and everything that we try and do, it is all about supporting people and trying to find that solution to every problem. And that's what you do, Barry, and that's what the Low Vision Shop does, and the Low Vision Specialists in Maryland and Virginia. That's what Henshaws do, and unfortunately, as I'm sure you and lots of people out there will testify to, there's still a lot of people that kind of fall through the gap. They get this diagnosis of low vision or blindness or whatever you want to call it, and they get told by the the optometrist or whatever that there's not really much that can be done. I've heard you say it before, but there is always solutions out there, and that's not just tech. That's other solutions, that's support, that's everything. And that's something that, Mark's really about and Henshaws is about as well. And especially with the Knowledge Village, which I know, through that channel, you guys, Mark, you've reached far and wide with that, and you continue to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we answered a question from YouTube from a guy in New Zealand. So, about a piece of kit.
Africa as well, I remember.
Oh, we don't. Yeah, we the States is really good for us as well, to be honest.
Do you have a lot of people reaching out from the States?
Yeah, and we got and if you start kind of drilling into the into the analytics of YouTube, we do well in the States. We really do.
Interesting. We should.
Yeah,
I didn't realize. That's incredible, and I guess it's just like the way we have our reach over into the UK and beyond. It would make sense that you have that reach over into the U.S. and we should probably offline talk about how do we further collaborate to make it a better transition, a better process, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm up for anything, me.
So I just want to point out, because there's comments that come in, and I like to share the comments as they come in. Sharon first of all says thank you, Mark, and she specifically mentions that the use of eccentric vision is really important to individuals with central sight loss like macular degeneration. So thank you, Sharon, for your feedback. And we also have Janice out there. This is her first time joining us. So welcome, Janice. She's from Exeter, UK. Am I pronouncing that right? Exeter?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not going to say how I pronounce Leicester Square the first time, so
yeah.
So I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right.
Something like that, yeah.
But Janice is share with us that Henshaw's YouTube has helped her out significantly, and so she's a blind artist and writer, and she's saying it's been a great help. But there is a question, actually. Janet has a question, and I'll put this out there to you, Mark, and to Dave. Do you know of any artists using raised line kit for drawing? She's saying she's heard of them for teaching children, and she wants to try it out in her practice.
Wow. Mark?
No, so I'm sure.
Yeah. Short answer, no.
I'm so transparent, me. So no. Because I don't know everything, unfortunately, but I will find out. So I've actually took a photograph of that. So I don't, to be honest, and I'm quite a bit of an even with regards to the arts.
But I'm sure, that's a question that we will keep. And if you're on the call next week, we'll definitely get back to you, because there is always someone out there that we're connected with. With the amount, we were talking about this on a call we had earlier, about the amount of people within the kind of arts who also have visual impairments that we're kind of connected with now, you know, doing different things. So there's bound to be someone out there that knows that. So be on the call next week. I will have an answer for you.
Yeah, I'll Google it.
And if anyone has an answer to that, please start typing.
Yeah.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a hello from Jenny over in Liverpool. Wow, great effort tonight from across the UK.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. So go on, Mark. What kit have you got? What else, you know, have you got? I know you said you had a surprise to drop on us as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll link it in. Yeah. So I mean, one of the other pieces of kit that I'm sure you've got, Barry, over there is in your pocket.
In my pocket?
Yeah. Do you call it that?
Yeah.
Do I call it one more time?
His probably isn't in his pocket. His probably is on his desk in his office.
Maybe.
His cell phone.
Ah, yes.
Oh, right.
I do have my cell phone here.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Well, there's a brand called In Your Pocket.
Oh, In Your Pocket?
Yeah.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Right. Well, you should be. I think they're massive in the States. You know.
In Your Pocket, it's called.
Yeah. It might be named.
Dave, are you familiar with In Your Pocket?
Do you know I'm not? And this is why I had Mark on tonight, because we're always going to learn something new. What have we got, Mark?
So it's can you?
Yeah,
so in my hand there is it's from a company called RealSam, and essentially it's a mobile phone. It is a mobile phone. But it's not really a mobile phone. It's a mobile library, and it's all voice activated. It's a real nice piece of kit. And they're doing all sorts of things I've read about with Congress over in the States and trying to give it to veterans and whatnot. So that's probably something to have a look into, Barry.
So explain exactly what it does, Mark.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a video for it. So essentially, on this, you can essentially get books from Calibra and the RNIB. So lots and lots of audio described books, which is basically part of the contract. So I think it's like you pay monthly. It's still a phone, but it's not a smartphone with respect, I suppose. It's really about getting newspapers, getting magazines, and it's all within the subscription of it. So it's
almost like what an iPod would be to music, that would be to books. Yeah.
And magazines and newspapers. So, you know, you could ask it, you know, what's the headlines on the Times today, and it will read the headlines, and then it will basically go into the stories. They're a nice piece of kit. The other thing that we do really well with is a product called Synaptic. So Synaptic is essentially a smart Android phone with a really dumbed down front end. So you've got all the sophistication of a smartphone, but you've got the ability to use it verbally, but also use it with high contrast and very dumbed down. So, you know, literally massive icons, and a lot better than trying to use an iPhone, really, to be honest, if you've got some sight.
I'm going to I'm looking at it here online right now, and we're going to do some further investigation. But
right, well, I've got a nice segue there for you. So can I tell you a little bit about Henshaw's Knowledge Village and what it was, where it came from, the idea?
Sure,
absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, we do have an anonymous attendee has given us some recommendations for Janice. So we'll come back to that in a few moments. But go ahead, Mark.
Hey, it was worth coming, Janice, just for that, eh?
See that?
So the Henshaw's Knowledge Village is it started off about 4 years ago with a conversation with my chief exec. And essentially what he did, he went to Africa on a unpaid 6-month sabbatical to literally go from village to village to support children, visually impaired children, in any way he could. When he came back, he said he had a fantastic time, but it was a little bit frustrating because he couldn't help them as much as he would have liked. And he made a kind of comment that it would have been great for you lot to be in the back of me before, and we could have done so much more work. So from that seed of an idea, he basically wondered if we could try and demystify the work that we do and put it in a place where anyone could access it from anywhere at any time for free. So I said, well, I kind of know stuff. So that's how it all started. So it was essentially using my own camera, an idea, a little bit of time, and we did some kind of trials, and we liked it, he liked it, and then essentially he dissolved a few responsibilities so I could kind of concentrate on this knowledge village thing, and we've never looked back really. So it started off really with technology, because that's what I do. You know, I'm a bit of a geek and I like gear. So the videos were all about that at first. But I'm not saying I ran out of ideas. I just kind of moved into other areas, so it wasn't as specialized, because we wanted this holistic approach. So then I started just looking into, you know, from my experience, from people, you know, people with visual impairment telling me some of their tips and tricks. We started doing tips and tricks videos, short videos, little solutions, like, I don't know, sticking an elastic band around a shampoo bottle so you know that's not the conditioner, right? You know,
Right.
that old chestnut, right? It works every time, you know, but there's loads of them. There's loads of little workarounds. So we started doing videos on that, and then started using, then I started talking to proper rehabs. I'm not a, you know, I've not got qualification in the thing I do, apart from, you know, the love of it. But there are people with qualifications. So I started talking to them, and then we started collaborating and doing videos. So we've got this massive kind of store of solutions for people, done in a non-stiff way.
Yeah.
Mostly because I can't be like that. I tried being somebody else and it don't work. So
No.
I just kind of be myself. So we started doing these videos, and they're brilliant and they go down really well. Another idea of the Knowledge Village, and this is where it's coming into Dave. We had this program, and it was a fantastic program, and we basically got grants for 12 years from something called the Big Lottery. The Big Lottery is this grant provider. Getting a grant for 12 years for a program just doesn't happen. But we got the money because it was a fantastic program. And it was basically about getting people ready to either get into employment or train or volunteer. Any of them three was a good outcome. And one of the things we did, so it was hardcore. It was like 4 days a week for 12 weeks, and I supported it, and I had great staff. So, you know, Julie, who currently works with us, was on the program. It went really, really well. It was a fantastic thing. One of the things we used to do is we used to get the students in a room, you know, never met each other before. One of the first things we did. And we got them to kind of talk about the visual impairment. One thing that happened lots and lots of time is the fact that they actually thought they were the only person with a visual impairment. They never heard anybody else going on about the problems and solutions that they needed. So it was mostly fantastic. Sometimes it was like, you know, silence, but mostly everyone got a lot of it. You know, there was always the same sort of person. There was a quiet one who fed off the chattery one. It was a fantastic thing. Anyway, when we stopped doing the program, because 12 years is a long time, kind of moved on and we did different things. We wondered how we'd get that back, right? So we invented this idea called Insights. So Insights was an idea of mine to try and get a story out of somebody who's up for telling it, right? So we had a set of questions, One of the things you couldn't do if you agreed to be in the Insight video, you couldn't actually, it sounds bonkers, and our fundraising team were like, what? You can't say how good we are. You can't mention Enshaws, right? You can't mention me. It's not about us, it's about you, right? And don't get me wrong, you know, we know we helped you along this way, but loads of other people did too. So let's not name us, just tell someone the story. So Dave's done one. And you didn't know we've actually released it tonight.
Oh, it's come out. Hey, I've been waiting for it.
Yeah, so I'm just, for those that can't see, I'm just holding up for those that can, the first page there. So there's a few insights, but Dave's there on his story. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to play it, right? But I'll tell you where to go.
By the way, I'm putting now in the chat, I've provided links through, thanks to Sarah, provided links where people can, I just posted in the chat, where people can sign up and subscribe to Henshaw's YouTube channel and also receive email/newsletters from the Knowledge Village. So
nice.
I've just posted that in the chat. So everyone, it is there.
Fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. So so Dave did a story, and he was as you know he is.
Let me ask you a question. How long is the story?
20 minutes. Well, 1921. So it's a long. it's an interesting story, because when we started on this Knowledge Village, the marketing team were obviously part of this thing. So, and they went, right, Mark, you know, got to have a minute. It's got to be a minute. And I went, a minute? You know, no one's going to learn any from a minute. I can only just introduce myself in 60 seconds. So never mind give somebody like meaningful advice. So they are longer than a marketeer would want, I suppose. But my point is, it's not about, you know, people flicking through the phones and just, you know, getting some noise. It's about somebody actually taking the time to learn, right, about theirs or their friends or family or anybody's condition and learning about it. So they're longer than the average bear, I suppose, but I think that's the point. And Sarah would say people stay, the quality of the people that watch them, because you can see, you know, with the analytics and all that, you can see how long people watch the video. So we know people jump off after whatever seconds, but these get right into it. You probably don't see the bloopers at the end, so there's a plug. But yeah, so they're kind of quality. The people go to watch them for a reason. So the
thing is with so I was just going to say, with the Insights videos, I've watched the couple that were kind of released. I think it was the 2 or 3 that were released before this one.
Yeah, we've got 14.
There's a 14?
Yeah, we're all waiting though. We've not threw them all out.
I was going to know what were the ones that have been released so far. I've seen Nina's.
We've got Chris, Nina.
Can we play? I would like to play just a little piece from Dave's insight.
Before you do that, just let me say this. You know, Mark is exactly right. You could not get a better title for this series of videos than Insights. People watch them for the entire length because it really does immerse you into that person's world. You really do put you walk in their shoes, and it's a great way of really raising awareness of what it's truly like with a visual impairment in lots of different ways for many people. And I've got to say, and I said this, Barry's already seen this video because I showed one of the early edits to him that I had. This, without a doubt, is the best thing that I've filmed in the entire time that I've done this. I'm so proud of this video and that the impact it's going to have.
It's extremely professional. I just took a brief look at it right now.
I filmed it literally. I think it was the day after I got back from New York.
I remember that
at the beginning of the year. Had jet lag, went straight to Henshaw's and filmed it. We did it in one take, I got to say.
Yeah.
And it was just an incredible experience. I love the way it's come out.
Brilliant.
Can I share just a brief?
Yeah,
little piece with
absolutely. Please
everyone?
do. Please do.
Let me see if I can figure this out. I should be able to. Okay. Here. Okay. I'm going to make sure you can hear. Can you guys, first of all, can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, can
No?
I hear it?
Okay, hold on one second. Let me make sure that the video plays out. I remember we did something like this. We did, so let me make sure this. You can't hear that, correct?
No.
No.
No, there was a way. I did this already once.
Don't worry if you can't do it now. We can always
Okay. Yeah.
add it in.
Yeah, I apologize. There was
No, it's okay. We're doing it off the cuff, but the link's there for people to watch it. They can go onto the website, and I'd really like, people's kind of feedback, put comments on, share it far and wide, because I'm, really very proud of this. You're still trying, aren't you? I know.
Yeah, I'm still trying. I want to. There was a way to. Yeah, I apologize.
That's okay.
There was. Oh, maybe it's this here. Hold on a second. No, there was. I remember last time at one point in time we were trying to share. We shared something, and I was able to get it, but we'll hold off for right now.
No problem. Listen, we were kind of, once again, always push for time for this. I'd like to kind of open it up. So if there's anyone out there that'd like to come on, ask Mark a question, come on, say anything, or ask me a question, ask you a question. Let's bring some people in and try and make the most of this, the remaining time that we've got.
Absolutely. While we're giving people a few moments to ponder if they want to come on, I want to just go through here a couple more comments from here. Hold on one moment. Diane is asking if Henshaw's does work throughout all of UK, or if it's more specific, like as you say, like in the Manchester, like you say, northwest, northeast. Is that accurate? How I'm describing the territory in that you guys serve?
Yeah. So physically, we're northwest and northeast, really. So if she's down in Southampton, we could physically help her, but especially in this day and age, so much ways we can help people remotely. The Knowledge Village is obviously a remote way, but that's arm's length. Anyone from anywhere, like I said, the guy from New Zealand, we'll help anyone from anywhere because that's the way it works. So if she's got a problem, all she has to do is ring us or email us or Facebook us, and I guarantee it, just like the lady about the raised lines, we will find a solution. We'll find a solution that, and we'll, because we know a lot, and if we don't know it, we're going to find it, and we'll find it quick. So although she might not be physically with us, we can absolutely help her in more ways than she realizes.
Okay. So there we have from one of our attendees says the cheapest way to make a raised line kit is to put a piece of window screen under your drawing paper and use a crayon. The raised wax is easy to feel for kids and cheaper than the $200 that's offered from APH, which stands for American Printing House. I believe, American Printing House. Schools can get it for free through the APH federal quota funds that's here in the U.S. Others have to buy one. So,
good piece of information. Good tip.
Very good piece of information. I can post and then there's also. It says here, someone else, Dave posted, not you, Dave Steele, but another Dave posted, the raised line drawing kits are 4 sheets where you indent the image, then turn it over so it's raised up to feel what's been drawn. So great feedback here tonight. So,
love it.
So thank you guys for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to bring in Travis. Travis, bring you in. Travis has become a regular. Unmuting you now, Travis.
Hi, Travis, are you there?
He's there.
Are we on?
We are
Yes, we
on.
certainly are.
You got
Excellent.
Travis, you have an international audience tonight or this
I
afternoon.
can see that. That is so cool. A couple of things I want to say here. So the first thing is the poem that David Steele wrote, that read a few minutes ago, at the start of our meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I found it very interesting, and being when I'm able to do it, it kind of reflected how I have good consciousness, using my cane, helping my coworkers out in the workplace and the whole 9 yards, and just being grateful just for what I have these days, especially using my cane with tomorrow being White Cane Day.
Yes.
Of course. Yes.
I can't believe.
Well, I'm glad you said that. It is White Cane Day tomorrow, isn't it?
It is.
Yep.
October 15th.
Yep.
There'll be some special poetry from me dropping tomorrow on White Cane Day as well.
That sounds great. One question I do have, that YouTube channel you guys were telling about, what is it called again, and how do you spell that?
Mark, you want to go ahead and answer that?
Yeah. If you just literally, if you put in Henshaw's, so HENSAHAW.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Yeah, sorry, Travis, it's Henshaw's, so it's HENSHAWS. So Henshaw's, which is the name of the charity. And
So
then
yes.
yeah, HENSHAWS, and then it's the Knowledge Village.
Knowledge Village. Okay. Henshaw's Knowledge Village. Sounds great. I'm going to check it out and subscribe to it, I think.
Nice
You won't regret it. There's lots of amazing things on there. It really covers a lot. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Don't think about it, Travis. Do it.
Just do it.
No,
yeah.
I'm going to. I will do it. I have a YouTube channel. I have it all. So I'll subscribe to it and everything.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Travis, while I've got you, before we get on to somebody else, can I read a bit of poetry for you?
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Just going off what you were saying there about not taking things for granted and really reflecting on the little things. This kind of sprung to mind. So I'm sure a lot of people out there can kind of relate to that. And before we move on, I wanted to read it to you.
Yeah.
Don't take your sight for granted. The things that you can see, life's beauty feel in memory seal. Consume them carefully. The smiles of those who love you, that look within their eyes. Each frame hold on, for soon may come the day it shrinks in size. For I know how important this little left I've got. I'm thankful for the sight I have, won't dwell on what I've not. Tomorrow's sight uncertain, no promise of a cure. So I will love and cherish these gifts today for sure. I'm hooked on vision's beauty. I'm lucky for its grace. I soak in every detail upon my true love's face. For soon that blurred tomorrow will finally be here. So I won't blink whilst on the brink, this blindness I won't fear. Although sometimes I worry for for days when sight is gone, I know that when the time arrives, this life will carry on. I'm an expert at adjusting. I've been doing it for years. I've learned to breathe while I still grieve. I've learned to own my fears. I'm stronger than I thought. I'm braver than you think. For I have saved my life before when stood there on the brink. I wonder though sometimes if my heart is growing numb. These days I don't feel half as much for what is still to come. It flows like waves in ocean, like sudden change in tide. I sit here writing words for you whilst from outside world I hide. But I have made a promise that I won't stay here long. For even in the darkest times, I know that I am strong. My battles with depression, these anxious feelings shake. I try to find new ways to win from the moment I awake. But you won't see me failing. I'll just try and try again. For through these words, my thoughts are heard by hand of poet's pen.
Wow. Yeah, this is definitely perfect. Definitely
Nice.
perfect.
Thank you,
That's
Travis.
powerful, Dave. That's just
Very powerful.
Oh, that was B Fox then, wasn't
That
it?
was B Fox chiming in there.
Yeah.
I like what you say. Try, and try again. And you know,
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, you know. And
It is what
we
it's all
share a
about.
lot. You know, we all have those times where we struggle, whether you've got low vision or disability in your life or not. Especially in these days, you know, we're all being tested with anxiety and fears of isolation and everything else. But you know, the thing is that every day's a new day. We have bad days, but those bad days don't last, and we just keep going and going. And as long as we kind of have things like this to support each other, we'll always succeed.
Yeah, that is very true. And that is why we're continuing to expand this platform to be able to, you know, continue to bring Dave, to bring individuals like Mark, and to be able to continue to share information, get the word out there. Options exist, awareness, everything about sight loss. And so get just very grateful for everyone being here tonight and joining us. Mark, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
What do you know, for everything that you see with technology, because there is such a wide variety of technology out there today, and I'm curious, you know, where do you see the biggest challenge with technology?
I think, well, I'll flip it around and not look at a challenge, look at a solution. I think the biggest step that's gonna happen is artificial intelligence. So bringing artificial intelligence into either the mainstream technology or specialist. I think that's going to be the game changer. A little bit like OCR, you know, when optical character recognition, you know, text to speech came out. You know, that's phenomenal. You know, that technology is fantastic. You know, and it's still getting slicker and faster and more accurate. So there's a few things that we're all kind of waiting for. So, you know, wearable magnification would be fun. You know, once they work out, know the lenses, you know, and I'm still talking wearables now. I mean, God knows when they start introducing lenses in, you know, and contact lenses. And I think dictation needs help, really, you know, being able to dictate well on our phones, you know, on our tablets, on our, you know, on the Macs, on the computers. So, you know, that needs some help too. So, you know, and again, it's the problem. I do like the way, especially Android and especially Apple and the developers out there are doing the right thing and introducing specialist apps on those platforms. But then, you know, Apple and Android actually making their you know, their iOS and the platforms more accessible as well. So they're always pushing the boat and trying to make it better. But essentially, you know, the game really is to close the gaps in it. You know, close the gaps and they're doing a great job. But there's still some technology and some elements just to knock out. But artificial intelligence is it. Navigation too. You know, navigation inside a building that needs some investment.
I mean, that's the holy grail. Navigation.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fantastic solutions, but they need infrastructure. So there's you know, NaviLens that there's an organization called NaviLens that does internal navigation beacons. There's a great organization, and I've just lost the name. I've done a video on it in Israel, and they've got some beacon technology.
Oh, right here.
Right here. Thanks for that. So right here, I've got these beacons as well. So again, because we've kind of cracked the external environment, you know, even just talking just about Google Maps, you know, or Apple, maps themselves, but then again, specialist technology. So, you know, Microsoft have done some great work with the Scene AI and you know, their navigation app. Again, I've just lost me train of thought and name.
Yeah, but I agree with you as far as bringing artificial intelligence together with navigation, and being able to have a more simplistic approach. I think when it comes to a wearable headset, that would be great. But I'm curious. I asked my question the wrong way. When I was referring to more as far as challenges, right? We have a lot of great technology out there today on the market. Where do you see us? Do you find, when I say challenges, do you find as well in the UK that the individuals that you work with have difficulty learning / understanding or getting past sometimes that learning curve with some of the technology that's out there today on the market?
No, I don't really, not extraordinarily. I mean, you know, my wife struggles with a remote control sometimes, and you know, and she's got perfect sight, and she's a lot cleverer than I am. So I think sometimes age is a thing, you know. So again, using artificial intelligence and thinking a little bit more mainstream too. What we all want is the ability. So we, you know, if we start talking about, you know, Amazon Echo, for instance, or the Apple products, you talk to them now. You don't have to touch them. You don't have to manually manipulate them. You just ask them what you want, and it'll sort it out for you. With artificial intelligence, that will help all of that. So, you know, so we introduce things. So back in the day, you know, I just want to read the Times. You know, that was a problem that someone had 5 years ago, and we'd get them a talking watch. Right, and that's fair enough, right? But now, you know, a £20 Echo, I know you got to have Wi-Fi, but a £20 Amazon Echo not only will tell you the time when you ask it, but it'll do your calculations, it'll do your alarms, your calendars, and somebody can ring you on it, and it can tell you a joke. You know, that's the kind of.
Well, can I say something there, Mark?
Yeah.
And this is a key to kind of what we're doing tonight, and why I really wanted to bring you on, and why we did that hour a few weeks ago with Barry, talking about all the tech that's available. Is there's not enough people that know these things.
No.
That's where it falls short. There's so many people out there within our community who don't still to this day realize not just what tech's out there that they haven't got, but also what the tech that they have got can actually do, and how they can use it by going into their iPhone and, you know, just making a couple of alterations to the settings. That is the big game changer.
No, I
agree.
And that is what things like, you know, that you guys, I'm talking both Barry and you do, and everyone at Henshaw's on your team does with the Knowledge Village. You know, it's about getting that information to the people that really, really need it, and it can make a massive, massive difference. If you were going to ask me the same question, Barry, that you just asked Mark, the only other thing that I'd add, which would be the biggest challenge, would be the cost of a lot of these devices for people with low vision. I hear so many people saying, oh, this would really benefit me, but realistically, I can't afford it. So that's another thing that really needs to be sorted out in future by, you know, help and whatever the tech firms can do to make it more viable for people to buy. But I think the things that we can actually make a difference and actually have an impact of at the moment is getting the information to people who really need it. And hopefully, you know, a few more people joining the Knowledge Village tonight and having a look at some of the stuff you've got on there, and us all sharing this kind of content is really going to do that for, even if it just is for one person that's listening tonight. That's
I think we made an impact with more than just one person tonight. So
can I just touch in on about trying to get the information out there? Mm-hmm. One of the Knowledge Village was primarily made to support somebody with visual impairment. That was our main goal. But once it went online, and once we had a subscription service, our solution basically, we know who actually subscribes to it. So I don't know what the stats are now, but the last time I looked, 50% of the statistics of people that sign up to the knowledge vids are actually professionals. And again, through the email addresses, you can kind of work out who they are. So they're like government representatives, like local authority staff, hospital staff, opticians, you know, because that, again, if everybody knows, the game really is, God, if everybody knows, including the taxi driver, if he knows what we all know, then when he ever comes in contact with somebody with visual impairment, or he becomes that himself, then it'll just be a lot more easy, won't it? So
Yeah, absolutely.
when I pitch it to professionals, I say, listen, I'm not going to make you a better surgeon, right? The knowledge village won't make you a better surgeon, but I tell you what, it make you a rounded individual that will understand your patient better. And isn't that a good thing?
And that's what it is, about being understand what individuals, if they are living with a disability, to understand their specific needs, and to be able to communicate better with them. I see this all the time on the trains. I ride the trains here in the U.S. on a very frequent basis, and I see it all the time. So, I'm happy to, I always point out to the conductors on board Amtrak, specific things, what to look for, how to properly, call a mobility cane versus, I don't even want to say what I've heard them call it, it's so important that people will receive the necessary training and to be able to understand what sight loss is all about. So I know that Dave will want to, I can't believe we're already past 5 o'clock, past 10 p.m. In the UK, past 2 p.m. on the West Coast. And Derek, it's good to hear from you as well. And thank you for joining us. So I want to really just thank Mark for joining us tonight. I feel like we almost have to continue this with a follow-up, and perhaps we'll have you join us in the coming weeks, and we will continue the conversation. And in the meantime, I'm going to check out some of the insights as well, and I'm sure that we're going to have some new followers for you guys as well. But I want to hand it over to Dave to wrap things up. If anyone else wants to, before we say,
obviously.
You go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
If anyone wants to be involved in Insights through technology, we could do that. So if you watch Insights and you like what you see and you want to be part of something like that, honestly, just give us a bell.
Okay, great.
Do that.
Yeah, if there's anyone out there who wants to say one last thing before Dave closes out this afternoon, evening, please raise your hand right now. Otherwise, we have a big crowd here tonight, and everyone's shy.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, B, how you doing?
I just wanted to say this was an absolutely amazing call, and I just absolutely love the tea and the poetry. And Mark, you in person, and thank you for all the work you're doing out there. So awesome, guys. I'll see you back soon in Baltimore.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to be back in the studio, B.
Safe travels, B.
Right on, Dave. I love the poetry tonight, Dave. I love the poetry tonight.
Wait till the last one.
I just have one question for you, B. Not in detail. Mission accomplished?
Let's just say that our studio has got some of the coolest state-of-the-art cameras and lights and microphones, and we even have some people from B&H. I can't say too much about it yet, but we're doing our Working While Blind documentary that's I'm working on, and these folks out are, we haven't announced it all, but we have a Working While Blind documentary. A bunch of people that are blind and making films have come together. We're living in a house together in Baltimore, and some B&H super professional videographers have agreed to do some training with us. So
that is awesome.
Super excited. Stand by for more.
A big shout out to B&H Photo. It's my go-to place for photography equipment and all. But I am super excited to hear that. Incredible crew over there. And, something that I'm so proud of, that Ben together with Dave and Orly and Yoni, went up to New York today. They didn't want to just order something online. They wanted to go there, touch it, feel it, see what they're getting, and they did that, and that is fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that.
Could you hear me? Because I was testing out that mic right live. You could hear me well?
Yeah.
I hear you right now. Yeah, you're great. Yeah.
So I just need to get a new headset so I can hear myself if I'm out in a crowd like that. But something I'm excited to tell you, Dave Steele, you'll be getting a care package from your brothers out here in Baltimore. We love you. We miss you. We want you to have one of these microphones. And let me tell you, when we can be out and about in parks and things like that with people out playing loud, that microphone, if you could hear me in that B&H, man, whoo, then that's great news because we can use them on Zoom calls. So in our community, audio is so important, and we're going to focus on that, you know?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes. And now we got to get you one of those covers that says The Blind Poet to put around it, but we'll get that printed up too. Looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
All right. Safe travels, B.
Thanks, guys.
Miss you.
See you soon.
And I'm going to hand it over to Dave.
He put it back in the
Okay, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's taken part in the call tonight. A big thank you once again to Mark. Brilliant, loved this tonight. And I want you to all go out and check out the Knowledge Village and Henshaws and especially the Insight videos. Let's get them shared all over the place. And hopefully all these new people on the call will come back again next week and continue on. We've got another special guest next week, which I won't tell you about. It's going to be a surprise. And some great things lined up for the weeks to come.
Yeah, and one last thing, if you enjoy this, and we hope you did, because we know that people are enjoying this, please share, spread the word. The group is growing leaps and bounds every week. Spread the word. It's so important, because if you share this with someone else and they share with someone else and it keeps going, we have this incredible community here, and we are all about spreading the word. So thank you to all those out there who continuously send me and my colleagues names to add to the weekly list. So thank you. Take it away.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you with this one. 6 years is all it's been since blindness put me on this road. At first, my world felt ripped apart. I struggled with this load. The system failed my dreams, derailed my place in this world lost. I felt no use, became recluse, all down to blindness cost. I couldn't come to terms with how I felt when I went out. The simplest of daily tasks became my daily doubt. I felt ashamed to use my cane. I hated people's stares. I faced the misconceptions through this poetry I shared. Admitted my depression in the hope someone relates. For every time I wrote these rhymes, my pride would compensate. I learned to breathe while I still grieved for vision yet to lose. I took the opportunity to live the life I choose. So now I find though I'm still blind, I'm happier by far. Won't settle for the minimum, dream big and raise the bar. To get my words by others heard is still my biggest goal. As vision fades, a promise made to bravely bear my soul. I stand before you here today so proud of where I am. I know there's people listening who truly give a damn. I'm well aware who truly cares and those who've walked away. I'm humbled by their loyalty, and this debt I'll gladly pay. It's why I try to multiply the power of these words, to send this poet's message to those ears who've never heard. Though soon this little vision in these eyes of mine be gone, I'm certain that these words I pen will always carry on.
It is so true. They will always carry on. That was awesome.
Totally.
Thank you again, Travis. I'm glad you're still here.
Thank you.
Kept you in there for that. Wish everyone a wonderful evening, the remainder of the week. Enjoy the weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next week back here, TM Poetry, 4 p.m. with Dave Steele and myself.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.
See you again, guys. See you soon.
Be well.
Bye.
Take care.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.